The number that shouldn't exist. It started with a phone call at exactly 3:33 a.m. My phone vibrated on my nightstand, jolting me awake. I squinted at the screen, my heart already pounding. No caller ID. Half asleep, I swiped to decline. But the moment my finger touched the screen, the call answered itself. Static filled my ear. Then, a whisper. Don't let it in. I sat up, fully awake now. My pulse raced as I tried to make sense of what was happening. Hello? Who is this? More static. A faint sound in the background. Like, tapping. Or knocking. It grew louder with each passing second. I clenched my fist around the phone, straining to hear through the static. Who is this? What do you want? Then, just before the line went dead, one final whisper. It knows you're awake. I sat frozen for a moment, my mind racing. Just a prank call, right? But as I was about to put my phone down, a notification popped up. One new voicemail. I hesitated. The hairs on the back of my neck stood up. Maybe it was nothing, but I had to listen. With shaky hands, I pressed play. The message was short. A deep, guttural voice that barely sounded human. Look outside. A chill ran down my spine. Against my better judgment, I got up and peeked through my blinds. The street was empty. My eyes darted left to right, but there was nothing. I was about to turn away when something caught my eye. Directly under the streetlight in front of my house stood a figure. Tall. Motionless. Its face was obscured by the darkness, a shadow, but something about it felt wrong. I froze, my breath caught in my throat. I tried to rationalize it. Maybe it was someone waiting for a ride. Maybe it was just a trick of the light. But my gut told me otherwise. My phone buzzed again. Another call from no caller ID. I didn't answer. I couldn't. Instead, I turned my phone off completely, backed away from the window, and forced myself to lie back down. But sleep wouldn't come. The quiet house seemed to amplify the pounding in my chest. Every creak in the floorboards felt like a footstep. Every gust of wind felt like a warning. The next morning, I tried to shake it off. Just a bad dream. Maybe I imagined the call. Maybe I never even looked outside. Sleep deprivation does weird things to the brain, right? I kept telling myself that. I thought I could move past it. I was exhausted, and I needed to get back to my routine. But when I checked my phone, the voicemail was still there. And now, there was another one. Shakily, I hit play. The voice was distorted, garbled. It sounded like breathing, slow, deliberate breathing. Then the voice came through, even more twisted than before. You shouldn't have looked. I deleted both messages and blocked any unknown numbers. That should have been the end of it. I convinced myself it was just some sick prank. A coincidence. Nothing more. But that night, my phone rang again. 3:33 a.m. I turned it off without answering, hoping that would be the end of it. But then I heard it. Knocking. Slow. Rhythmic. Coming from my front door. At first, I thought it was just the wind, maybe a branch tapping against the window. But the knocking was too deliberate, too measured. I stayed in bed, paralyzed. The knocking continued for exactly 33 seconds. Then silence. I lay there, wide-eyed, listening to the stillness. But when I finally mustered the courage to move, I went to check the door. There were no signs of anyone being there, no footprints, no broken glass, nothing. But as I examined the wood closely, I noticed something faint, almost like a scratch, carved lightly into the surface. Awake. My stomach twisted. I didn't know what to think. It could have been anyone. A prank, right? Someone playing a sick joke. But who would go this far? And why? I took the day off work, desperate to figure out what was happening. I searched online for stories about strange calls and unknown numbers, but all I found were urban legends and creepypasta. Nothing concrete, nothing that made sense. I tried to tell myself it was all just coincidence. My mind playing tricks on me. But deep down, I knew something wasn't right. That night, I took precautions. I turned my phone off before bed. No calls. No knocks. Just blissful silence. For the first time in days, I thought maybe it was over. Maybe it was all just a bad dream. For a while, I thought it was over. But then, I woke up. It was 3:33 a.m. again. I didn't hear my phone ringing, but I felt it. The vibration. At first, I thought I was still dreaming. But then, I realized something wasn't right. I reached for my phone, but it was already off. The screen was black. The power button didn't respond. It shouldn't have been possible. My phone had been off, I had made sure of that. But it vibrated again, louder this time, as though trying to get my attention. The buzzing stopped, and a single text appeared on my screen. "You're still awake." I tried to turn the phone on, but nothing worked. It remained frozen, as if locked in place. The home screen flickered briefly, distorted, like it was glitching, before going completely black again. Then, I heard the knock again. Not at my front door. This time, it was coming from inside my closet. My heart skipped a beat. My pulse thundered in my ears. I couldn't breathe. My mind raced as I tried to make sense of what was happening. It was impossible. It was surreal. There was no one in the closet. I hadn't heard anything before, and yet, I was certain, something was there. The knocking continued, slow, deliberate, methodical. Then it stopped. For a long while, there was nothing. The silence felt suffocating. I didn't move. I couldn't. I held my breath, hoping, praying it would stop. But after what felt like an eternity, I heard it again. A voice. Faint, but unmistakable. "I'm inside." I didn't sleep at all that night. The next morning, I packed a bag and left town, crashing at a friend's place. I got a new phone, new number, and refused to even think about what happened. I blocked every possible contact from my old phone, hoping it would just go away. It was over. It had to be. But tonight, my friend went out for a bit, leaving me alone in the apartment. I sat on the couch, flipping through TV channels, trying to ignore the gnawing anxiety in my chest. It had been days, but the fear hadn't gone away. My hands shook as I picked up my new phone. Then, it buzzed. A single notification. "Unknown number sent you a photo." I froze. My heart stopped. My fingers shook as I tapped it open. It was a picture of me. Sitting on the couch. Taken from the closet behind me.